being here, for being such extraordinary leaders here in the state of Georgia. And I'll tell you, I must have brought this cold weather from Iowa, New Hampshire. I'm very glad to be here with all of you. We have such important work to do. Let me start by saying how proud I am to be in a union hall. I will be as strong a president for the organized labor movement as has existed in the history of the United States. You know, we have such important work to do for this country. We do. And I listen sometimes. We had a debate in Nevada just a few days ago in Las Vegas. And I listened to the other two candidates talk, and one suggests that what we need is an administrator as the President of the United States. The other suggests we need somebody who can give a good speech. What I have to say is we need a President of the United States that will fight. Nothing will change until we have a president who's willing to stand up to drug companies, insurance companies, all companies. And I'm very proud of the fact that I'm the only presidential candidate who's never taken a dime from a Washington lobbyist or a specialist. Because we need to have a president who will stand up to those people. We need to have a president who's willing to fight for you, for your children, for your grandchildren, against these entrenched moneyed interests in Washington, D.C. There's obstacles to the change that America so desperately needs. And I don't know if any of you heard this, but it was interesting to me. Just a couple of days ago, Senator Obama was talking about change and agents for change, and he used Ronald Reagan as an example of an agent. He brought us change, all right. He did everything in his power to break up the organized labor movement. He did everything he could to create a tax structure which favored the wealthiest Americans and the biggest corporations. He did everything he could to destroy the American environment. That is not an example for change that we want to be talking about. Subject of change. When did our party change? When did we become the party that took money from drug companies, insurance companies, oil companies? That's not the Democratic Party. That's not who we are. You know, the truth of the matter is this. The candidate for president who's taken more money from Washington lobbyists than anybody is not a Republican. The candidate for president who's taken more money from drug companies is not a Republican. Let me say this very clearly. I know that I'm the underdog. I'm running against $200 million campaigns with lots of glitz and glamour. But if you're looking for somebody who'll go in the trenches, fight for you, work for you, I am your what America needs. Let me be very clear about something right at the start. The first year that I'm President of the United States, I will bring this mess of a war in Iraq to an end. We will now have combat troops out of Iraq in the first year. Combat missions will be ended. There will be no permanent military bases in Iraq. But this campaign is, at its core, a fight for the middle class, a fight for low-income working families, to give people a real chance at the promise of America. And this fight is going to require some work. Now, it's not that we don't know what we need to do. We know what we need to do. But the suggestion, and I've heard it by the other two candidates on the stage, the suggestion that we're going to sit at a table and negotiate with drug companies, oil companies, insurance companies. I was just a few weeks ago on the campaign trail with the family of a young woman named Natalie Sarkeesian, who some of you will remember, 17 years old, needed a liver transplant operation. Her father was a good working man, had paid his insurance premiums all his life, had insurance coverage. The insurance company said they would not pay for her liver transplant operation. The family pleaded, and they still said no. Then the doctors intervened. Then the nurses intervened. Finally, they literally started marching in front of the offices of the insurance company, and they caved in. The problem, by the time they caved in, it was too late, and a few hours later she died. Anybody who says to me that I, as your president, am supposed to sit at a table with those people and negotiate, never. It will never. We know what America needs. We desperately need real universal health care. And I want to say, for those of you who don't know, because the lines get blurred, you know, because there are good candidates running for president on our side. I won't comment on the other side. But the truth is that I have a truly universal health care plan. Senator Obama's is not. It leaves as many as 15 million Americans without health care coverage. We don't need small incremental change. We need bold change. We need real universal change. And we got to get rid of all the cracks in the health care system. And that means no such thing as pre-existing conditions anymore. You want to be able to take your health care with you every single place you go. You change jobs, if you get laid off, if you move. Now, my plan is not free. I don't claim it is. It costs $90 to $120 million a year, but I have a way to pay for it. Get rid of George Bush's tax cuts.